A lot of attention has been devoted to preparing students for more complex reading passages, but don't neglect preparing them for more complex words within the questions they will be asked. For example, evaluate relevant evidence or interpret the unified theme. You can't answer the question if you don't understand the question. There's been a major shift in the academic vocabulary students will face on standardized assessments. After looking through a variety of state and national resources, I've put together a list of some of the most common terms I'm seeing on college and career-ready assessments. Yeah, it's the verbs, but it's also the nouns and the adjectives or descriptive phrases that may be new and unfamiliar to students. You can download this list within the article that corresponds with this video on our website. What I would do first is print and read the list. Which words do you think your students would know, and which ones do you think they wouldn't? Do they know what it means to compare conflicting perspectives or convey author intentions? If it says draw conclusions, they know not to really draw a picture, right? And discuss is a fancy word for explain, not to really talk. And we've mentioned a lot of times the use of passage or the text, but are you teaching them about selection and even more popular, excerpt? Once you've identified which words you think they don't know, then spend some time defining those words. You might even make a simple synonyms list. For example, sufficient is fancy for good or good enough, and reveal is more complex for describe or explain. In addition, make sure you teach them all various word forms of these different terms. Analyze, analyzing, analysis. They need to know all different forms. Once they start to understand these terms, you might give them on small pieces of paper or index cards and let them start to sort them into categories that make sense to them. Some are just fancy synonyms for the same thing. Others have a very specific meaning and require a specific type of response. With a better understanding of these academic terms now, you're going to want to start to create some questions or prompts that use multiple terms in the same question. Initially, ask these questions and simply require students to reword them. Don't worry about their answer or response. Let's just make sure that they can decode the prompt and understand their task. In general, we need to shift our teacher talk. We need to begin to include these terms and phrases regularly into our classrooms, and not just in English language arts. We need to do it in math, science, social studies, and all the elective courses as well. Teachers need to begin to tweak their questions and reword their directions to use some of these terms. We need to get students more familiar and more comfortable with this more complex academic vocabulary.